What is up, MOF? It's the point after. Yeah, we're back. Season 74 is about to kick off. But the draft tonight, baby.
It's our time to shine. Show that's the kind of state of mind you gotta combine with hard work and time. You gotta climb to the top. Don't let yourself drop till your heart stops. Let this beat rock. Got a new clock and a new stock for this new rock. Just let your mind loose from the new stock. Drunk off the goose, thinking that I'm too pop. Getting caught with a few thoughts cause I'm too lost. Off the speakers can't even handle me. Giving what I got, nobody's gonna drain my energy. And I will never stop, I'm motivated by enemies. Setting up shop so everybody remember me. And know I am not going through life regretfully. I'd rather work non-stop, what they call incessantly, than work some odd job just to live life pleasantly. Already got lost in my mind, not a fantasy. I'm getting with a forgotten soul, so stop, drop, and roll. You lost all control and pop off your ball. I got squat, I fold, I'm not bought, I'm sold. My stock rocks, it's gold. Hey, knock, knock, she holding shit, talk to close. I ain't stopping though, it's hip-hop, you know. Or is it rock and roll? I'm not dropping down, no, my pocket's grown. You can't stop the show, so get rockin' on. So let me break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up, I ain't never giving up. Taking that crown from you. I ain't worried about you.
What is up, MOF? Welcome back. Point after, episode 4. Yeah, I've been in hiatus. Haven't done a show since the playoffs of season 72. Season 73 just had me tied down. I didn't have any free time to work on my show. But the next month and a half to 2 months should be a little different. I'm going to be home. I just had a surgery, so I'm out on FMLA leave. So I'm going to have a lot of free time on me to do some stuff. And one of the things I want to work on is this show. So I'm hoping this season you guys are going to get a lot more than usual because, one, I have free time. Two, I'm restricted to the first floor of my home with minimum of movement until I'm healed. So we'll see how it goes. As the show started, we are at the cusp or the beginning of season 74. 2 seasons in the book in this edition of Madden. Season 72 and 73 both saw Mac and his Ravens come on top of the Super Bowl of the MOF champion. So congrats, Mac, for your second Super Bowl championship in this cycle. I don't know how many Super Bowls you have in the MOF, but something tells me it's more than 2. Also, congratulations to Wilkie, his opponent, I believe, also for the last 2 seasons. It would be dumb of me to not predict that they would possibly represent their respective conferences yet again for season 74. But again, that's why the game is played. And of course, both of them have targets on their back. So everybody's going to be gunning for them in each of their conferences, respectively, of course, to represent their conference in the biggest game of our league, Super Bowl, of course. So the draft's tonight. That's what really gets the juices flowing. The anticipation of the new season kicking off. Sometime this week, either Tuesday or Wednesday. Jeff and Q already actually sent out a message on Discord earlier in the day. Definitely let them know one way or another if you're going to be attending the draft. If you do not plan on attending the draft, just a tidbit of advice, which everybody probably already knows, but just in case, I would definitely set up your mock draft or your draft board. Not your mock draft, I'm sorry, your draft board. So the computer picks the players that you want and not the players it thinks you need. So take that advice however you want. Again, it's just a friendly piece of advice. When it comes to the actual draft class, Looking at it, I don't think it was a very strong draft class from the get go, um, or in general. I believe its strengths are quarterback, defensive line, and defensive backs. So if you're in the need of a quarterback, D lineman, a corner, or a safety, whether it be free or strong, this is the draft for you. If you're looking for a receiver, an offensive lineman, a running back, a tight end, linebacker, and not as much. I mean, there's talent there, but it's slim pickings. Um, so this draft is going to be about who did their homework during the season, who did their scouting, who hired the right scouts, who scouted the right players, what players are they needing, or what positions are they needing to fill, and a little luck, of course, a little luck. Um, so um, it's going to be an interesting draft, like I said. Like I said, I already broke down what the strengths of this draft class is, which again is quarterback, defensive backs, and defensive line. Um, then I broke it down a little further. Uh, Quarterback wise, I believe there are 7 quarterbacks worthy of a number 1 pick. On the D line, and that's of course the D ends and D tackles. I believe there's 8 players worthy of a number 1 pick. On the defensive back side of the ball, which includes the corners, safeties, free safety, and strong safety. It goes, we break it down a little bit more. The safeties, I believe there's 6 to 7, respectively. So I think 3 in the free safety, 3 in the strong safety, or one of them has 4. The cornerback position is the one that's the deepest in this whole class. Again, my opinion, I believe there's 11 cornerbacks worthy of a number 1 pick in this class. Now, are they worthy number 1 picks? I don't know. That's for each of us to answer ourselves when we get called up to the podium. I do believe those 11 cornerbacks will be gone by the 3rd round. So then I think they may come off the shelf flying quickly, right off the get go. So we'll see. I usually wait for Jeff's mock draft, which I think is more knowledgeable and more precise. But I don't have that right now to work with, so I'm going to use the mock draft that the game itself puts out. It's mock draft 4. And right off the bat, the mock draft has Remo and his Chargers picking a cornerback with that number 1 pick. Now, Remo, if I'm correct in assuming, has 3 number 1 picks. And it has him picking 2 cornerbacks with those 3 picks. So, is that a need that he needs to address? I don't know. I haven't broke down his roster. Um, it's not for me to say whether or not that's where he's going. Again, I use this mock draft with a grain of salt. I do feel confident, though, that he's not going to pick quarterback with that number 1 pick, since he's already has a franchise quarterback. Just as I do not believe at number 2, Crazy and the Vikings will pick a quarterback either. For the same reason, he's already got his quarterback already on the team. I believe our first quarterback, and as I mentioned at the top of the beginning of the show, somewhere in the top, that there's 7 quarterbacks worthy of a number 1 pick. I believe one of those quarterbacks will fall on the 3rd round pick. I'm sorry, the third pick, not 3rd round, the 3rd pick of this first round. When Betts comes up to pick for his Commanders. Now, breaking down the quarterbacks a little bit further down, there's 3 of them that are, to me, worthy of a number 1 pick. They all have the grades. 2 of them have grades of A and throw power, which is something I think we all look for, in particular Betts, because Betts' style is to get the ball downfield, but he also likes to run the ball. But he also likes mobility. And there's 2 quarterbacks that are a little bit more mobile than out of the three. But that's what we're going to draft, guys. We don't know which way he's going to go. Me personally, I think he's going to go with, I think his name is Sharf. Sharf? I think it's this name, Sharf. I think that's the quarterback he's going to end up picking. I think he is the best quarterback on the board. Um, period. Now, the game has Jamie Nowak, who is one of the top three quarterbacks, also in this draft, as the first quarterback, the number one rated quarterback in this class, followed by Bobby Dunlap, who I agree is also one of the top three quarterbacks. So I think it's Nowak, Dunlap, and Schaefer. Schaefer, that's his name. Like I said, looking at all three, I would guess he's going Schaefer. He's got the arm strength. He's got the mobility. He's not, he's 6'5", 232. Medium to deep throws. He's got a graded B. His short range is going to be anywhere between an A and a B. So I mean, like I said, I think that's his quarterback. I could be wrong. He could go with Nowak, or he can go with Dunlap. And then of course you got your other ones like Huntington and Wharton. But again, my opinion, just based on looking over the quarterbacks, I think he's, me personally, and I could be wrong, and it's Schaefer. So I think bets go Schaefer. Now, the question is, who else is in need of a quarterback? If you need a quarterback, you're definitely in the right draft for one. The only other team that I know needs a quarterback besides the Commanders is the Lions. The Lions let Goff walk. So it looks like Jay Fawn needs another quarterback, unless he has one already on the roster that he's confident in. He hasn't made any attempts to move up in the draft, but that's probably also because he sees that these quarterbacks are much aplenty in this class, and one may fall on his lap at pick 19. Like I said, I mean, one of them may actually drop on him. I think the mock draft had him drafting Schaefer at 19, and Betts drafting a defensive lineman. Like I said, I'm confident that Betts is going to draft a quarterback, so that's why I think the quarterback's going to fall first in that number 3 pick. Question for Jay Fawn will be, if he is in need of a quarterback, is how many teams between that number 3 pick and the number 19 pick where Jay Fawn picks, how many teams are there that are needing a quarterback there? I don't know. I thought the Dolphins would be a quarterback needy team, but they have a quarterback with a 95 throw power. So new coach Doc Holliday, who takes over the Dolphins from Double D, may have a signal caller already, but the mock draft has him picking. I think it's Dunlap in the number 20 pick. So again, it's all with a grain of salt. I don't know if the Dolphins need that quarterback or not. I will tell you that I am looking forward to see what Doc Holliday can do with this team for a full season. He definitely still has the speed, crazy, ridiculous speed on that team. He's just going to have to deal with Bubba Duran and his Bills, and get past Gouch and the Jets, and Shanti and his Patriots. Can he compete in the AFC East? Possibly with that team. If he's got the quarterback and he knows what he's doing with that team, yes. Like I said, it's a solid team that he takes over with that Miami Dolphins team. His previous team, the LA Rams, is now controlled by a new character. I know his first initial's T. Didn't catch his whole name. It's kind of a long name, but I'm actually excited to see his game. Saying all the right stuff in chat. Cleared up a lot of space to pick up players that'll possibly help him during the season. That'll contribute. I know he tried to get rid of Coop. In the long run, he decided not to, because it was going to hurt him cap wise. which I totally fully understand where he's coming from because I had the Rams last cycle, and I had to get rid of those big contracts between Stafford, Donald, and Coop. Definitely had to get him out, get him off the books. Now, what I would have done with Donald is I would have traded him. I would have probably uh, tagged him and traded him. Probably would have got some picks for Donald. I did because last cycle I traded him to the Steelers, which was Jeff, and I think I got a first and a stud tight end. So you could have got something for him. Then again, did you have the money to tag him? And of course that was a risk you would have to take because if no one would have taken the trade, then you would have been stuck with him for that year. So it's a hit and miss, but I would have definitely given it a shot. Maybe shopped him around, see if somebody would have been interested in a sign and trade. And go from there. Like I said, the stories are all there. Um, with the anticipation of this new season, it would be silly of us not to consider Mac and Wilkie the front runners for their conferences, respectively, to represent the league in the Super Bowl again. But of course, Bubba Duran in the AFC and Booby and Jeff and the other guys in the AFC and the NFC are going to try to knock Wilkie off his pedestal to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Those two teams are the best two teams in the MOF. You may disagree with me, but just looking at their rosters from top to bottom, I just think they're the best two teams. Now, Wilkie, of course, during the free agency cycle one or stage one, when he attacked it, went and got himself two of the best defensive players available in free agency, Donald, and I think I can't remember the linebacker's name, but they're both X Factor defensive players. So he got help on the defensive side. Is that where he thinks he needs the help? I don't know. I don't think the Ravens did anything trade wise to improve their team. Looks like he's just strictly trying to gather draft picks, and he's going to try to develop his team through the draft, which I must say both these teams developed their teams very well. In particular, Max, because that team, he's got Jackson, he's got two stud running backs. His offensive line is decent. If there's a weakness, that would probably be at his right side, which the mock drafts indicates that's what he's going to focus his draft on. But again, it's the mock draft. We don't know if it's accurate or not. He may think his right side is accurate or great. I don't see him going after a running back. He could because he could then trade him. He could go after a receiver, but he's got good receivers. He's got a good defensive back. I just don't see any flaws in his team. When it comes to the Falcons, depth-wise, flaws, I would say, is his receivers. The man only has two receivers on his roster currently. But he also has two stud tight ends. So he's got two stud receivers and two stud tight ends. And he's got a stable of running backs that can catch the ball from the backfield. So that may be his offense. Will he address the receiver depth in the draft? Don't know. We'll see. I think the mock draft has him picking an offensive lineman. I think that could be accurate, could be wrong. I would think he's going to go receiver to try to get some receiver depth on his team. But we'll see. Obviously, he's looking to find a competitive edge to get over Mac in the Super Bowl. So he's probably anticipating facing Mac again in the Super Bowl. Now, is he overlooking everybody? I don't know. Possibly not. But 2 seasons in a row now that he's gotten there, it's up to someone else from the NFC to knock him off that perch. On the AFC side, Mac's sitting pretty with his team. I don't see any flaws on his team. What's going to have to happen is someone's going to have to someone's going to have to get a hot streak in the AFC and maybe also get some luck. Hopefully, see if he gets some major injuries on his team. Like where would he be if he lost Jackson for the season? If he lost one running back, he has another running back to fall on. So where exactly is his team's weakness? So he may get depth at quarterback just to protect himself, just in case Jackson goes down. But he may go elsewhere. We're going to find all these answers tonight at the draft. And of course, we're going to get other answers as to, are they still the two best teams in the league? Are there any chinks in their armor? We'll find that out during the course of the season. And that's what makes this league the best league in the whole Madden community. Because I believe we're all competitive enough that any of us could win at any single time. And we all complement each other. And we really try to give each other fits when it comes to playing this game. So definitely looking forward to continuing playing this season and seeing what this new season brings. I know I got my hands full in my division, and that's what I'm looking at first. And I'm dying to see my schedule. All I want to do is get in a dance in it and see what happens from there. That's my goal. The last two seasons, I predicted myself not to get in the dance, but I fell short on my prediction on win seasons on this past season. But I'm hoping that I filled the holes that I felt needed to be filled during this offseason. Free agency run, and with that trade, I may pull out another trade. I think I have one trade left in my pocket. I'm trying to make another one happen to improve this team. And like I said, just doing my homework on the draft to see which players will best fit my needs and will contribute and help me out right away. So, hence the excitement of this new season. Season 74 will start Tuesday or Wednesday. It looks like, of course, the draft is tonight. It'll take 3 hours possibly tomorrow. I believe he's going to open it up for the for camp, and then on Tuesday he's going to open it up for preseason every 15 minutes or every 5 minutes, something in that nature, and then boom, we'll get going. So you'll probably get some games played Tuesday night, probably more so of the games played Wednesday, throughout the day. So again, we are hope you guys are excited as I am. Season 74. Every year, like I said, every we just had a 2-week hiatus to the playoffs. I think we're all itching to get this going, get the season kicked off, and see what season 74 brings to each and every one of us. So, hey, I want to wish you guys good luck tonight in the draft. Good luck for the season. We'll see you on the backside of the draft. Possibly have another show out, have some interviews, get some guests on, talk about what their goals are for this upcoming season, and maybe some predictions. So other than that, guys, appreciate you tuning in. I apologize again for not having a show during season 73, but you're going to see a lot more of this during season 74. Until then, guys, peace out. We'll see you on the backside.